welcome to Maryland episode number 68 on the robot.
Are we still in 68?
Yes. Taylor Torres. What's up, y'all? Brian Davis.
Howdy, y'all.
And we got the producers over here, which you cannot see. Still getting used to the video. We are actually facing, I don't know, just actually facing the camera.
Yeah, I don't really face the camera too much. I got a face
We're
me.
doing it,
As I've said many times, I have a face me for you.
No profile.
Yeah.
So game this weekend, pretty crappy, it's hard to watch.
We're just gonna pull right into it. We're not gonna talk about the
We're gonna talk about fun stuff we've done
It's
lately.
good weather, except for the wind.
You can say
Nice week, good build up. Now we're just gonna bulldoze it. And that's fine.
Just rip the Band-Aid right off.
It was sheer turmoil at the game. They said they knocked the wind out of us. Also said they took the wind out of our sails.
What else you got?
That's all.
Oh, that's really nice.
You had 3 or 4 days to like come up with it.
2 weeks. No.
Alright, fine, let's do it.
Go ahead, Taylor.
All three of us there, yeah, I'll do my spiel. It won't be very long.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, I promise, it won't be that. Comparatively speaking. Same starting lineup as last week, which surprised me. Like I said, last week I didn't think that we would see the same starting lineup, and they tried out the same lineup that we saw last week. And the same problems that we had last week in terms of not being able to generate anything in the run of play from an attacking standpoint, made themselves apparent again. The wind obviously had an effect on our team, but had an effect on New York too. I mean, and the way they felt was they kept the ball on Mark. He kept on trying to hit long balls that would, in certain instances, sail right back in Scotty's face. Again, really poor on set pieces. Not that we had very many because he's struggling with the ball in the attacking third right now. No, did not shoot much. So yeah, I can almost repeat what I said last week about the way we played, subtracting the free kick goal in Lancaster. I was glad to see Paolo Pippo get an appearance. I thought Kyle Smith played again pretty solid in defense. I think the opening goal in the first half was a hell of a shot by Judy Williams instead of him.
Both of them.
Flemings.
Was a really
Junior Flemings.
But I didn't think I had my 3-year-old and my 5-year-old in the game, so I didn't get to see
Those two played
popcorn, yeah. So I didn't see the second one, but I heard a lot of that bomb behind me for like scoring again. And I didn't think that we'd really threaten to score. I feel like we got that post once maybe, but that was about it. So, we've got some real problems. And I was listening to Ollie talk about the broadcast for a second. I didn't watch it. I heard like there's some good things that could be improved there.
Oh, yeah, that's an understatement.
Yeah, some things that could be improved there. But one of the things I heard Fred Cowell say, he's still a sports journalist, and he had a press conference after the game, and he said, James, are we really missing Matt Bonnie that much? We're searching for an identity. And James kind of snapped back and he said, we have an identity. I was like, if that's our identity, we've got some real problems. We're only 2 games in. A lot can happen, a lot can change. We've got 11 bodies on the team. We've got some key injuries, namely Nate Cruz and Rasmussen. I don't think this is what we're going to be seeing all season. I certainly hope not. But there's some cause for concern from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, I think we're okay. But we've got to figure something out in front. But yeah, you're right. Okay. See, I told you, Jordan.
Nice shot. The sky's not falling. We're still in second place in the East because no other team has more than 4 points. I just looked a few minutes ago.
You are.
We're tied for second.
Still.
Yeah, everybody's that. Everybody's either first, second, or third. My point is, no other team has more than 4 points. So the win in Charlotte kind of bailed out this last game.
Yeah.
Those are 2 tough teams that we just played.
Keep in mind, I had 1 more game. Go ahead.
Details. Don't bother me with details. And I thought offensively, at certain times we looked good, and then at certain we looked okay. But as soon as the ball got around the 20-yard box, it just seemed like a mess. Especially from the end where we were, especially in the first half. It looks like we were threatening, but we could just never get off that final shot, never make that final connection. Defensively, I thought we were okay. I'm with you on the players. There's a lot more new faces in the starting lineup than I would have suspected, which is a little strange. But I did think we played better when Paulo got on the field. I like the
tackle yellow card.
You're gonna get a yellow card. Make it one very.
I like stop.
But I like the energy he brought with. He's got some heat to his game. He's got some aggressiveness. And yeah, I just think there's obviously a disconnect once we get the ball through midfield, up trying to get it to the forwards. It just didn't seem to connect well. And some of that may just be playing together, getting used to playing each other. I don't think one player, Matt Fondy, that's not the identity of the team. So I kind of agree with Coach. But I think there's definitely some room for improvement. And the good news is everybody knows that there's no way Coach, there's no way the players don't understand it. We've got to.
There's got to be a sense of urgency.
Yeah. But it's going second game of the year. It's not the end. It's really not the end of the world. The weather. Anybody that uses the weather as an excuse is lame.
Sure. Both teams does play.
Because everybody's playing the same way.
Yeah.
So that's just my take.
Hoffman Lucas. It's hard for him to see him actually retain the ball, hit the ball, like you're saying in the final third. And again, he's not fine. He can't also move off the ball.
Well, no, okay, did you see those center backs at New York started? Sure, gigantic.
That one guy was massive.
Huge. I'm going to say this though. I wonder, and you know, I look forward to being proved wrong. I wonder if he's a target striker, number 9 type player, like we're trying to use him as, or if he's better suited to a different formation, like a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2 or something. Or just tactically they need to deploy in a different way. Like we talked about, he's not Matt Fondy. But we're trying to use him the same way we used Matt Fondy last year. Cameron Lancaster has filled that role a little bit better than Hoffman has, I would argue. That doesn't mean that Hoffman isn't really a player. I think he is. I'm just not convinced that that's where he would be.
No.
4-4-2. I mean, some combination maybe. I don't know. I think he'd do great as like a center forward in a 4-3-3. I really do. Combination play with two other guys.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the idea when you're doing that 4-2-3-1. It's kind of the same kind of deal with that, just a little different defensive setup. But I'm not obsessing too much over formations. I'm trying to get that out of my system these days for obvious reasons. But I still, there's plenty to work on. That's not unusual. I mean, I'm sure the players know there's plenty to work on. Coach knows there's plenty to work on. Ask me again, and 6 games in, if we are looking at only still being stuck on 4 points, or if we're starting to drop to the bottom of the table, then I'll start to panic. But as long as we hang out the top end of the table, everybody else, I guarantee you, every other team has their same issue they're looking at going, why aren't we there yet? It's the beginning of the season. It's a pretty long season. There's plenty of time. So no need to panic. You're figuring out what your issues are. Just get to work.
And the other good part is, we walked into last season and said, you know what, making the playoffs would be a pretty good result. We ended up far exceeding that.
Yeah.
This season, I think, our expectations are obviously a little bit higher. I don't know if top league is necessarily something everybody got their sights on. I did, but not like realistically.
Win the Open Cup.
Yeah. But I'll say this, there's 8 playoff spots. If we missed that, then we deserved it. I think it's a low bar to set.
Yeah.
Playoffs, but at the same time, it is just a second game. I think all these issues are correctable, but how he goes about doing that, I'm interested in seeing.
I would say that at least for me, we probably should have talked about this. What are our expectations for the season? I think a home playoff game is the bare minimum requirement this year to be considered. Doesn't have to necessarily be second again, but a home playoff game is the minimum requirement for us to say, you know what, we're at the same level, or maybe you got it better. Just my thought.
Sure.
You guys want to anything else? No?
I got a question.
Oh, Ken's got a question.
What do you guys think about that New York team? What do you think that says about the 2 teams in the league right now?
Right.
I don't think that you can. I think they're all different. I think all the 2 teams. Development is their primary goal. And New York was really good last year. Nobody seems to remember that.
They beat us both games.
And this is a newer squad. This is a newer player. They still had good players. Their A team is doing all that hot in MLS, but I think that this is a good team. And they clawed back against the 2-0 deficit a week before against Toronto. They're good. They're a good team.
You had a lot of guys that I think were Italian.
My son's been watching too much. He's in soccer camp this week, and every time somebody knocks the ball from him, he's all of a sudden on the ground. Stop watching.
But I mean, you see the USL Power Rankings. You've seen how they're rating, the Galaxy 2 teams.
They were,
From a holistic perspective, I think, this bodes well for what the academies are doing and what the academies are trying to produce.
I mean, good for New York Red Bulls. I mean, that's what they want to do. This is good for them.
to your point, New York Red Bulls were not, during the power rankings for USL last week, they were not rated, they're now number 3.
Yeah.
Shut up, shut up.
I'm sorry, I have to ask
Wow, the
something.
power rankings are down.
We do.
We have a question from the
I have a question.
Yeah.
We do realize that the Harrison Red Bulls are from New Jersey, right?
Joyce.
I'm just saying, because I grew up in Kearney next to it.
So are you playing NY? Are you playing NYCFC now, Joe?
No,
Okay.
Well, I mean, all these 2 teams should be good teams, Real Salt Lake Salt Lake has a ton of injuries. They took a ton of players from the Monarchs, put them up on the first team, and they ended up going and beating KC at KC this past week in MLS. So we should expect these second teams to be good teams. They're supposed to be. They're MLS players or borderline MLS players. That's what they're supposed to be. So we shouldn't be surprised when we beat them, great. We shouldn't be surprised if they're competitive. And I don't think it's that big a deal. And the idea that the power rankings are out in the team program, that there's power rankings and that makes a difference that a team went from unranked to 3rd place after 2 games says more about the quality of the power rankings than it does about the quality of the team.
I like flower rankings better.
Flower rankings?
Yeah.
So,
I don't even know what that means.
Ken, you were saying something
That's
about,
all white flower. There's all wheat flower. Is there all wheat flower?
Yes.
Roses. Roses are good flowers. You got no flowers.
Wow.
Roses is blank.
I don't know.
Roses.
Let's edit this part of the conversation.
No, this is great.
no, I went on.
Tim, you had something we were going to have a conversation about flower.
hard to get stuff about. You're taking about academy players and this bode well for USL.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see a tremendous capability in what New York was putting on the field. Young, strong, big, fast players, athletic, fast. I mean, they had speed on us,
Yeah.
tons of speed on us. And that was probably, they showed one of our weaknesses, is some of our lack of speed, especially in the
So what are our strong points? I think you're right on the New York team. What are our strong points? Who's looked good? Who maybe hasn't looked as good? Who do we think?
I still like the surprise of the season so far is Kyle Smith at right back or left back. No,
Right back.
And left back.
Man, that guy goes. He puts in the shit.
And I think Sean Reynolds is doing great at center back.
Great game last week.
I don't have a whole lot of complaints about Aiden Quinn or Guy Lennon at all. It's when the ball gets past them, I'm not concerned. That's what I worry about. Quattro puts in a good shift, Hay puts in a good shift. They just can't, there's no connection to the place that they're not trying to work.
Hey, every time he put his foot out in front of the ball, he hit the ball, he almost put it. Every time someone took a shot, he was able to block with his foot. I know he's a converted, left back or right back.
He plays
mid.
He was kind of everywhere style last year.
I like his size. I don't know if he's got the pace to play the league or not. I can't tell yet. And speaking of pace, you guys were talking about earlier, Shinovsky. I don't know if that is not questioning his skill. Shinovsky was a mainstay last year.
He's a good leader in that back four. That's in my opinion, why he's still a mainstay back there. He helps get that defense organized really
But the
well.
way our fullbacks move up, it's a suspect defense if our fullbacks don't get back far enough, because just like New York did, they exposed us on the side of that second goal. Shinovsky couldn't keep up. I watched him from the sideline huffing it out. And it was tough to watch because I'm thinking, come on, Sean, or Connor.
Yeah, Sean.
John Connor.
We're lumped together in one name. I'm sure they'll be excited to hear that.
I'm excited. I want to let it forward. I hope you come back. Connor?
Let's not start
Okay,
this.
I know.
You got so many syllables we go along.
To your point, Brian, earlier you were saying that these guys are MLS ready for the academy. What's that say about the USL players? Because some of these guys were in the MLS at one time, some are looking to go there. Are these players, can we compare them to the academy players?
No, my point wasn't that when you hear they're Red Bull 2 or so-and-so 2, the initial thought is that maybe these guys aren't very good.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is these guys are good players that they're trying to get up to the MLS level, which is no different than what we have. My point is these are good players.
Yeah.
Just like I was talking about, Salt Lake is kind of the one that jumped out to me.
Right.
Is that they bring in all their second level players, or their junior players, and they bring a handful of these guys in, and they're able to be, supporting Kansas City, which a lot of people think is one of the better teams in MLS, or not a lot of people, it's a fact they're one of the better teams in MLS. So these second teams are good teams with good players, and it's not.
I mean, just to kind of solidify your point, look at Bethlehem Steel. I watched them play SEC on Sunday. Yes, SEC won. That was not fun. But that Steelers are good. They're a good team. They lost on some pretty strong goals. But I feel like they should have 2 or 3 themselves. They just kept on getting opposed or really good goalkeeping effort from Cincinnati Keeper. And that's the Union. Union are terrible. So I mean, those are the Union's second team, and I'm pretty impressed with that. Though that joke is, while I appreciate it, it's unfortunately passe. Yeah, I mean they're a good team, and so I don't think they're anything to snap. I mean, we cannot like them collectively because they kind of make our league look like it's minor league or B league or whatever. And that's be comfortable in your own skin and kind of get used to it. I mean, yeah, we got great things to aspire to, but you can't let league decisions practice.
I just want to bring up something real quick. That if you had Taylor saying passe on your Veracruz bingo board, make sure you put that down on your Veracruz bingo. I think we're going to bring back the Veracruz.
That's not what it comes up here.
Yeah, no, it's not. That's what we're.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like free space.
Exactly. Oh, so we have a free license, right? There's no real professor on USO, right? MLS has these analysts around the world.
I'd say Chad Collins really is the Chad Collins, but
Right, so the academy is really that bad for USL, or does it bring a play up, draw players trying to? I don't
you're saying that everybody uses different. Montreal has bloody kids in their team, and you got New York's got, they don't have a lot of better. I mean, every team uses their piece one. I don't think they really say they're all like this or all like that. Yeah, so that kind of covers the
We're talking about the academies. Miazga, the kid that started for Chelsea, he came out of the Red Bulls Academy.
Yeah.
Just
No,
something.
Newton's got a good academy program. They have for quite some time. They're nothing to sneeze at. And a lot of other teams are smart. Like LA Galaxy excluded, like catching. I mean, LA Galaxy's got great.
Yeah, Academy's been pretty good. Yeah, we had that kid earlier this Sunday.
That one guy. Yeah. So to talk about things that we kind of the game, which kind of made us sad. Let's talk about some stuff that happened off the field during the game that we liked and playing. Anybody got any thoughts about the game itself? I thought
beer prices are terrible at the stadium. I don't care.
well, if it's not free,
Is that off the field? That's off the
Well,
field.
it's pretty good at Troll Pub, $3.
That was great. Fair point. That was great.
Food trucks outside were nice. I don't think they had really good attendance because I wanted to make it a game without getting blown away.
Right.
But the food trucks, it looked like it was a good time out in the parking lot for the people that were out there.
I got there like half year off, so I didn't get to play pretty stupid. I got little kids. I'm not gonna tell you.
There was a good crowd of 18, good outside crowd.
We watched his birthday.
Got to watch the second half of
There
it.
you go.
Yeah, we had a good crowd at Troll Pub, pretty good numbers on the march, and then when we hit the tailgate area, a lot of people joined up, so that was awesome.
So when we sit during games when I can get I had no little kids with me and I had some friends with me. We sit like on the third base side, like just where the overhang upstairs lets off. So I kind of get great view of where the fun stuff really happens. So I'm not facilitating kids out there don't lose them. So probably having enough fun.
You're parenting on.
Yeah, I probably am.
The idea was to lose them.
But heard drums the whole match. They were awesome. I thought you guys, Capos, and y'all did well. Any other comments from anybody else? That's about it for us trying to corral.
Gentlemen,
We talked about it a little bit after the game. I think this is going to happen. I think the idea of putting the Capos in one central area right by the drums was a good idea. But I think spreading it out, because I think the supporter section in this game was much, it wasn't as deep maybe, if that's the right way to say it, but it was more spread out amongst a bigger section.
Sure.
And I think that there's, having the Capitals at one spot behind the goal kind of takes that whole section from the goal all the way over to not home base but the other side, the corner flag. And I think having the Capitals spread out a little bit more will make the communication easier. It also keeps up if there's a spontaneous chant going on. If, for instance, the Black Sheep or something. You know, there was a couple times where they got a chant going, and the Capitals wouldn't know, Ken wouldn't know something's going on, and it gets beat, it kind of gets drowned out by the drums from that one section, whereas there can be better communication if there's more spread out.
I think that would help a lot though, because you can pick up on some new fun original stuff.
Absolutely.
I think that's great.
Right, so we totally encourage spontaneous cheers. If we hear them, we'll signal boost them.
Absolutely.
It's hard to
and
hear from one
support them.
spot.
That's-
Right, so
That was my point, yeah.
we're gonna try to take measures to fix that and get a capo or a team of capos back out to that aisle. We have some logistics to work through, but I think I just about have it solved with the club. And it won't happen next game, but maybe the game after at some point.
Perfect. Still, again, me being the optimist, significantly better atmosphere than game one last year.
Oh,
So, I mean, look what we grew from last year. No problem. You try new things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All the drums are great. I thought that was really cool. I do want to say
I'm sorry.
we need to, hopefully this doesn't offend too many people. Most of the drummers other than Joe were great, I guess is how I should put it.
Yes.
America probably support. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Was he there the whole game, Jordan?
He was there for about 15 minutes, and we did make him an honorary Cooper, so he's wearing around his scarf now, and he's really fired up.
How many scarves do you think he has at this point?
At least 6.
2.
Oh, just two?
No, oh wow, yeah, right.
I would like to, I'll bring this up, and this may not be popular for a lot of people listening to this, but the opposing goalie goal kick.
YSA again?
That needs to stop or go away or be drowned out by something else. I think it's tacky and it's way too close to what Mexican fans do. And we all know I don't approve of that.
I like the English. I like that.
Yeah, so if you want to be Mexican fans, feel
Go to
free.
Mexico.
I think it's tacky and it's not that much fun. So just my own personal thought.
Let's, okay, so we got some areas we can improve on, and guess what we get to do on Saturday? Again, it's, Dad's new family, Orlando City B. Dad went out for cigarettes about the middle of the year last year, never came back, and now got a new family, and fell in
Do you think the players, I mean, how much fun would it be if the players came out like mad that, you know, you're Orlando City B and you guys dumped us and, you know, Dad ran away, like, they took that attitude. What if we tell Paulo they said like bad stuff about his mom?
Oh! Never tell an Italian that. There you go.
No, you know what we do? We tell they're all Louisville fans, and we'll tell George they're all Kentucky, or the other way around. We'll
Can
tell
we
Paulo they're all
stop
Kentucky.
stereotyping everybody?
And then they can just go in just angry and upset, like it's, you know.
So you're inciting a riot.
Not a riot. I'm just saying,
On,
you know,
an on-field riot, very different from an off-field riot.
yeah, it's two different things. By the way, before I forget, on-field riots, how funny was the referee, like, governing the exact spot to take a throw in? That was the most meticulous is a good word. I was gonna say power hungry referee I've ever seen.
You're there.
That guy was great.
Rumor has it he was not great particularly well. You know, there's
They issued an Oscar to,
he deserved it.
Fallen?
Fallen? No,
Fallen down.
But Orlando City B, 2 games so far. I think they scored one goal today. They scored 1 against Wilmington, and then they had a 0-0 draw. Wild down man against Charleston last week. That was surprising. Charleston would score. So, you know, I don't know. We would like to hope for another clean sheet. A clean sheet. Or another clean sheet, I guess. Yeah, we
A goal?
one.
I want to see that
How about a home goal?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, I think they're a good team. They just they can't put it all together.
The good thing
Sounds
is,
familiar.
some of these players that we're seeing this time, we saw last year at Friendly 3-1 victory. Earl Edwards Jr., guy named Louis Neal, Mike Ambrose, Tyler Turner, Harrison Heath, Ryan Roches was Roches. I don't know.
How come most of those guys sound like NASCAR?
Tyler Turner for sure.
Yeah.
Earl Edwards definitely.
Definitely. Something equal to
He sounds like Formula One. Heath,
That's a NASCAR.
yeah. A lot of these guys are players, like we talked earlier. These are guys who have been with Orlando since the USL, their USL start, or I guess some of the Austin Aztecs, because they have 2 Austin Aztecs players. And then Austin's not playing in the USL this year, they've been suspended. So they've it's not like we haven't seen some of these guys before. I don't know if they've had time to play together, maybe a little more solid. If it's anything like last year, I expect a decent game. Win the side, though, I don't know if that's going to show back up.
No easy games in USL other than St. Louis.
Air five.
And
Cincinnati. Maybe not. Only talking about one game at a time.
all right, so let's just switch it up because I think we beat the Louisville City drunk. So kind of along the same lines, except the opposite. Are we still in panic mode for U.S. Men's National?
Always. Just because we beat Guatemala 3 or 4-0, in Columbus where we don't ever lose.
No,
With I still don't think that means that all of a sudden all is well and USC is a team like that. I think Clemson's still got a lot to answer for. I think if we blow Coco America this summer, that's no problem. I still don't think.
I'll take a session while you're up.
Make that 5.
Yeah, well,
Make that
I'm just
5.
going to get around the beers for those. Yeah, no, I think you're
Is he
right.
a starting 11?
I think we're getting it. Now,
here's the thing. I love Kyle Beckman. Kyle Beckman is not going to start for us in the World Cup in 2018.
no, he's not.
So who do you think? Who do you replace him with? We've been trying for a year.
Hopefully it's Danny Williams.
Danny Williams.
Hopefully it's Danny Williams. If it's not Danny Williams, it can be
Trapp.
It can be Will Trapp. It could perhaps be Perry Kitchen. There are candidates. Now the problem is
I like all 3 of those guys. None of those 3 ever see the field for us. I think
right now, but they're younger.
Well, when are they supposed to see the field?
Well, I don't understand.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't know if Danny.
Danny.
Well, there's a difference between a must-win game right now. I hope that the mix experiment has gone south. Here's what happened in Guatemala. I haven't been back, so we didn't get a chance to talk about it. Brooks and Besler both went down. They put Orozco in at that position instead of moving Cameron in, and it was a failed experiment. The problem was you had a back line that was pieced together, which we've seen a lot, and they had no protection. You can't use mix as you're holding. Ken, that's not fair. Again. But you can't have mix as you're holding midfielder in front of a slapdash back four. So I think that was the biggest issue in Guatemala. The one glaring thing was you can't have them there. You're going to be in a hostile environment. That's where you use Beckham. Now, if you want to use mix at home in Columbus with a fully stocked back line, that's okay, but you can't do both. And I think that's where the game plan absolutely fell apart in Guatemala, and it was just a disaster after that. That's my personal take. And some fluky shit going on too. So, but I think what we found out for sure is Jeff Cameron should be a starter and should be a starter at center back. I think John Brooks, if he's healthy, is going to be a starter at center back, no doubt about it. DeAndre Yedlin, who's playing solid minutes at Sunderland, even though they're fighting promotion, should be a starter at right back. The left back, we'll see who it is. I think Tim Reams may be a good candidate there. We'll see. He didn't get called into camp. I didn't think Castillo was terrible, but his back pass to Howard set up the first goal in Guatemala. Not a big fan of that. Fabian Johnson, Bedoya, Bradley, those guys are all playing very well. Bobby Wood's playing very well. I mean, we've got a lot of guys that are playing really well. So it's not the end of the world. I just think, I think he gets too cute. And that's what I keep coming back to. The idea of playing mix and playing Bedoya as your holding midfielder. Why are we doing these things?
He's got to figure out a style or a formation or some general idea that everybody can just kind of figure out what they're supposed to be doing going into games. And it was nice watching the Guatemala game because basically I was playing in positions where you can make the argument that they were comfortable playing, which was not the case when we were at Guatemala.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think he does that way too much. Play guys where they play. If you just play guys where they play, they're probably going to play more.
Remember, every national team vote has this issue.
Sure, but
Every
it's not forced on a lot of players at the same time as we do.
Yeah, well, it's not unnecessarily forced. And I think he gets too cute. I think he tries to outsmart the game sometimes. The idea of playing Alvarado those minutes before he really earned it at the Gold Cup. Bedoya playing as a defensive midfielder. Mix playing as a defensive midfielder. Mix is rated the most overrated player in MLS. Not to say he is, but the player said he was. He hasn't played well in a year and a half. He didn't get off the bench at the World Cup. You're trying to make him a center holding midfielder in front of a slapdash back four. that's a recipe for disaster for everybody involved. And I think he tries to get too cute. I think he outsmarts himself sometimes. Then this game, we had to win this game in Columbus. He goes in and says, okay, I'm going to take this seriously. Look at the lineup he rolls out, and we just roll over.
But you should never not take the local qualifier.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you one bit.
Before you go on, it seems like a really natural spot. We're gonna bring this sweet pillow on.
Right.
Your seat's nice and warm for you, everybody.
So Amelia is from.
Ha!
Beer run.
Beer run.
You're with me.
Amelia, please list your official position within ATV.
Talking to Michael.
I'm the master here at the top.
Okay. The master.
Master Pubber.
We're getting your pie session.
Master top.
Okay. So you've got some information you want to share with us.
Indeed.
And we'll start.
All right. Well, I'll start out by saying we've got some good beers coming on this later this week. So if folks haven't been down to taste the Napa American Lager or the Asian Libation India Pale Lager, those are going to be gone on Friday. So definitely got to taste them. I'm really liking the American Lager right now, super light, really drinkable, hence the name Napa, because it's in house right now. And beers that are coming up, the Wiki Sticket, which was a English gold ale that we had on actual last season until we had it, and super easy drinking, like biscuity kind of English style gold ale, really, really nice, 4.8%. And then
Did you say biscuits?
biscuity, yeah.
Biscuity. That's the coolest word we've ever heard.
That's like
Biscuity.
That's almost like a breakfast beer, right?
Yeah.
Biscuits.
Yeah, that's but as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I definitely drink this beer for breakfast. And Pile Face, which is actually a recipe that Jerry from over is called Harbor Master overall. And basically he's running the production facility nowadays, but every now and again he tosses the recipe my way to see how it rolls out. We're going to be canning that later on this year. Concept of Pile of Face is pretty much, people have this skull logo like ourselves all over everywhere, and he's just wondering what happens with the face, like is someone like, in addition to collecting skulls, someone that comes in collecting piles of face, so, the family will get
Incineration, from my understanding.
Oh.
but what if you're like really into fresh skulls?
Who was the serial killer that made a snake suit?
That was Buffalo Buck, or not really, movie, not really.
No, Buffalo Bill.
Real serial killer. You might know. Alright.
I have no
It's
idea.
Buffalo Buck.
Yeah, all I know is
It's a movie.
Wiki,
No,
no,
we're-
prove me wrong, or right, or wrong.
it's true. All I do know is that Jerry is a huge fan of Silence of the Lambs.
Okay. Can you give away what takes away the?
It is basically it's a 6% IPA. Lots of I believe whole melon, if I remember correctly, it's Centennial hops. So melony, juicy, a little bit of that kind of crisp, piney, grapefruity, hippie kind of thing going on. So yeah, really good
Good
beer.
word.
Yeah. Biscuit.
I do this for a living.
Someone from the school that knows their actors and things.
Someone got a degree in English.
Hey!
Um,
I'm not gonna make that.
You can.
It's a good one. We all know it.
What was that from the street?
Yeah.
See that 10 times.
The only other thing I was going to say is that I know that you guys have definitely enjoyed trying to get out the production facility while you're doing TIFO. That opportunity is not open to the public. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 to 9.
Awesome.
So yeah, and actually this Sunday,
Say that again, Sunday morning.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3 to 9. And I believe this Sunday people might actually get the opportunity to compete with you guys and TIFO. So I'm not sure what's happening.
By you, you mean
This
you
is
and
true.
Alex.
We have our second TIFO production going in on this Sunday. So
Yeah.
we will enjoy a couple pints after TIFO or during the TIFO.
What
Anyway.
It's 1800 Northwestern Park.
Make sure I-
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Oh, you got the time on this. Oh, you're.
Well, it looks like good timing.
More beer, more beer, more beer, more beer. More beer, more beer. Yeah, they're also.
Yep.
The last of the neck hole.
Thanks, man, appreciate it.
Cheers down your neck hole.
You keep up the good work, Brian.
You guys did the same.
Brian, cheers.
Cheers. Oh.
Cheers.
Sorry.
Oh.
I only got 5, I'm sorry.
I'm playing with you. I'm playing.
All right, so we're
I'm
back,
kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
heard we needed 5 beers.
I'm kidding, Brian. I'm kidding. Sit down and
As I understand it, Klinsman no longer has time to tinker. His time is run out, he now has to choose. So starting 11, you guys are
Time to get down to business.
I don't know about starting 11, but he needs to figure out
18, somebody.
a philosophy, a plan, something that looks consistent.
Is it 3 in the back or is it 4?
It's not 3 to 5. No, we like to joke about it. I love the idea of it.
No.
I joke about it all the time. What we're gonna
That
do?
makes me cringe. 3 in the back. What kind of hypocrisy is that?
The Mexicans do it.
No, we don't have to-
3-4-1-2. A 3-4-1-2.
I think you're gonna
The
see
ability
it.
to move forward and defend.
I think you're going to see, and again, let's try to not obsess over this. I think it's going to be more of like a 4-2-3-1 is what you'll see, especially against teams like Columbia. You're going to see that going on.
It's the spread, it's the spread offense of American football, 4-2-3-1. I feel like it's just everybody starting to use it, implement it, some effective.
Well, it makes sense. You get box-to-box kind of midfielders like Bradley and Nagy. You have one holding guy, which is going to be probably Kyle Beckerman in the big games, maybe Jamie Williams and the other guys that we just mentioned. You have an offensive midfielder, which could be Clint Dempsey, who can play the draw and roll, or you can put in Bedoya, or you can put in any number of players. Again, Nagy can play there as well. You put fast, athletic wingers with guys like Fabian Johnson. And then up top, it works if you have a healthy Josie Altidore who can hold the ball up and is a physical presence. Now, if Josie's hurt, we don't have a replacement in that position, so you have to maybe go to different combinations of players. But it works if we have the full lineup, if everybody's not hurt or if people are hurt, which people are going to be hurt, there's going to be yellow cards, there's going to be stuff going on. But I think that's the idea. You can take that same lineup, turn it to kind of a 4-3-3, which is kind of what we played in the World Cup. A version of that. It's kind of weird. So there's different things you can do. I think you've got some flexibility. I think the trick is when you've got guys like Bedoya who plays the number 10 role in the center of the pitch for his club. He's okay playing on the wing, but you want him in comfort levels. I'm reading a book called Habits. I don't know if you guys have ever read the book or you've heard about it. It talks about habits. It's not about nuns. It's not those kind of habits. The gist of it is about how I'm going slow. The gist of it is how people come up with habits, how they develop. And Tony Dungy, when he went to the Buccaneers, he didn't make, if you remember, the Buccaneers were terrible before Dungy. They've been terrible since he left. But what he did is he went in and he simplified their game plan. He didn't make it more complicated, he made it less complicated. So players knew what they were going to do, they played on instinct. And I think the problem with playing a lot of guys out of position is they have to think. And in soccer, that extra half second can cost you a game. Whereas if you play players in positions they're familiar with, and not a lot of national teams get to do this, the team plays better. You look at the German teams, and I'm not comparing our team, but those guys play in positions they're familiar with, and that extra half second, that's the difference between winning a ball, not winning a ball, getting a shot on goal, getting a shot block, saving the goal. There's so many.
With respect to Germany, or a lot of your successful national teams, I feel like teams go to the game knowing what it is they're supposed to try to accomplish.
But exactly what I was saying. They're
So
good habits.
yeah, and I feel
We're agreeing.
Yeah.
Don't argue with me when we agree.
I'm already.
You're saying we don't know what we want to do.
When players are played out of position where they don't naturally play, yes, it is hard for them to immediately switch. Not that they can't switch gears, but their mental habits, what they're used to doing 90% of the time, is changed, and it's not the same thing. And I think that's where the flaw when you're trying to experiment and get cute. That's the word I'm going to keep using for some of his lineup choices. I think we'll be fine. Again, I'm an optimist. I think we'll be fine. We're in a tough group, but it's certainly winnable. We may have a tough time with Columbia the first game, but there's no reason we can't finish second in our group at the very least. If we finish second, we probably play Brazil and the party's over. But getting out of the group stage in the Copa America with a pretty tough group is nothing to be ashamed about. I think I'm fine with that. Now, if they don't get out of the group stage or they're embarrassing, a whole other set of issues.
Is anybody hesitant? Are we worried about even going to 2018?
No.
This time last year we were talking about it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We get out. I mean, we're like 92% chance to get out of our group right now. All we have, heck,
We got beat by St. Vincent and the Grenadines here.
we've already played our 2 toughest games, which is Guatemala Road and
And
Trinidad on the road. We've got Trinidad at home, and we've got to go to St. Vincent. St. Vincent has like fishermen and stuff playing home. I mean, like they don't have all full-time soccer.
Well, I mean, Carlos Ruiz is playing for Guatemala. But it's for
And his nickname, how's this? Is
Escondido.
Scout, yeah. Yeah, little fish. So anyway, yeah, we're fine. We'll get in the hex. There's a little more margin for error when you get into the hex because you're playing 6 teams playing against you at home and away. There's a little more margin for error, but I think we're fine. We're clearly, maybe we're not the best team in CONCACAF. I think Mexico probably owns that right now. They've earned it. But Costa Rica and these other countries aren't better than us at this point. I still don't think so. When we put our players out, no experimenting, we mean business, we're fine. Do we want to talk about, let's just hit on some other kind of quick stuff and then we're going to get to Twitter questions.
Sure.
So, there's been a little bit of issue, I'm sure you've heard about the women's team and the lawsuit. With US Soccer.
Okay.
We're going to touch it. I'm not.
Just glance.
So U.S. women say they're underpaid compared to men. They have a collective bargaining agreement they had with U.S. Soccer. The collective bargaining agreement basically said they want to get paid on a broader scale. They get paid more for an appearance versus vertical, which is the farther you go in the World Cup.
Right.
So they're coming back later and say, the top players are coming back and saying, this is, we're underpaid. U.S. Soccer saying it's due to revenue, which the men's team supposedly brings in twice the revenue the women do.
I don't know.
Well, U.S. Soccer's got to protect their interests to a certain extent. They can't make themselves look terrible.
They're screwed either way. They're kind of
Yeah, and Sunil said, hey, there's in 2017, they're up for renegotiation again. So I think all this is posturing. This basically guarantees the women make more money per game by doing this, and it doesn't cost them anything. And I'm fine with that. I think our women deserve to get paid.
They're the best team in the world.
Yeah.
They win World Cups.
They do win World Cups and Olympics and all kinds of other fun stuff. So
That's good.
Hey,
I mean, part of me says you negotiated a contract and you need to stand by those terms. Part of me says, why aren't they paid the same? But there's a lot more to it than that.
This is not the new when it comes to union versus employer tactics.
So they have a right to negotiate.
They absolutely have a right to negotiate. The problem is a lot of it's based on World Cup money, and the men's World Cup brings in $1 billion. The women's World Cup brings in $100 million. I'm not by the way. So I don't know. Anyway, so we should at least touch on that. That's what's going on. We're not going to talk about the thing with Abby because she got these players. We're not going to.
It's not just last.
I just got a DUI.
Oh, that too. I'm talking about.
I don't know what came out today. I'm not. That's okay. We should also talk about, we had the World Cup this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Participate, raise your hand.
World Cup. Can you play?
Dude,
Stop.
I'm an ex-paratrooper.
I'm
I do not play
53 years
soccer.
old.
I've seen you play soccer.
They're not ages.
And you know how long it took me to
Yeah.
recover from that game.
Well, I ended up playing 3 hours worth of soccer because I played the goalie for ATG something. So you're not going to, my legs still hurt. It was a lot of fun. The black
My
team
legs hurt just
clearly
watching.
recruited a good team. It was fun. It was a good time. It was a good event. It was well run. Black Sheep did a great job putting it together. They absolutely put together the best team they could for their A team, and then they put in a B team, which was full of women's U of L players.
So in other words, a team that can also beat everyone.
Let's see. They beat us by a goal. They beat the Coopers team by a goal. I think we were the 3rd best team, even though I think we finished 4th, because of the way they did the team playing each other. But we tied them the first time we played them. And then the second time they had all new girls. So I was like, wait a second, this isn't right. You guys are supposed to be in shape. I missed a shot late. We had another good shot late to tie it up late and just couldn't convert.
I learned that head crossing. You're looking ahead. You're looking ahead the ball. You're an aerial player.
No, that's actually not true.
That was a legendary.
It was
I'll never forget.
But no, it was a lot of fun. The Heretics were out there. I love those guys. They are horrible. Absolutely terrible. I got to beg the king, which was fun to do. And I did it on purpose. And he was just, well, at one point I got over in the corner with the ball. And he goes, oh, I got you where I want you now, Davis. I get the ball at my feet. He goes, oh, look at him doing work. Look at him doing work. I'm like, oh, you guys are killing me. So, but it was a fun event. Everybody had a really good time.
Did you play this ground?
He didn't have the crown, but the Heretics played in costume for the most part.
Oh.
So they had the one guy with the jester hat. He took that off for his first round. I think he got himself a black eye. We had one guy dressed up as a wrestler. It was crazy. But lots and lots of fun. A really cool event, and it was a fundraiser for Kentucky Rugby Team,
$700 for KR.
which I think we can all agree is a great.
Is it an annual cup? We're gonna see it next year.
I don't know.
I've never
You need to talk to Black Sheep about that. And King Louis was a great location. It was a really cool place to go.
What else we got?
Well, it's not
Yeah.
soccer stuff. We're talking about fundraisers. I'm going to do the mini marathon in 4 weeks.
You do know that's 13 miles, right?
Yes, I
Mini
do,
sounds easy.
and I've done.
John, I'm gonna kick your ass.
I know you will, and that's okay. But I'm better looking, and I'm trying to raise some money for Active Heroes, which is a great fundraiser for folks that come back from overseas fighting, that are dealing with PTSD and stuff like that. So if you go to either Twitter or Facebook, and I've been posting every couple of days, please, if you can, donate a couple bucks to them. It's a great cause.
Donate to Joe.
Give Joe your money.
Donate to them through me. I'm
Yes.
awesome. They're way more awesome, and I'm much more awesome than you guys. So.
I mean, for a drummer, you're pretty awesome. And then, of course, I think the biggest story in world soccer right now is what's going on with Leicester.
I was gonna say that.
Who?
That's old.
Okay. Leicester, I mean, I think this weekend all but wraps up. I think you go with 6 games to go, they're 7 points up. They have a pretty soft schedule the rest of the way. I mean, it's BPL, so nobody's a
Keep
soft
winning,
schedule.
they keep winning 1-0 games. They're
First blue get a chance to make it.
Yeah, but nobody wins the game. So I mean, it's just amazing. It's an amazing run, and you think they're not going to win, they're not going to win, they're not going to win, and they score the goal. And they play the most reactive, bunker, counterattacking style soccer you've
But
ever
it's
seen.
legal. It's legal.
It's
not disorganized.
good for them. Good for them. Except
I think it's a
for
great story.
it'll be interesting to see what they do next year. Having played in the Champions League, having to play, they have to.
They only play 18 players. Premier's only played 18.
Well, they're going to have to play
They're gonna
guys.
take a lot more.
I mean, that's an interesting philosophy. You guys have anything to share? You guys watch the Leicester games?
LCFC.
They're brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got money right on
They hate
that
us on
game.
Twitter because we
They got all of our
I love to see them.
Nice.
We also root for Lincoln County Football Club, the only
Yeah.
other LCFC.
Which is yeah, eighth division.
we got some Twitter questions, and I'm gonna lead off with one I just got. So from our friends, the little heretics, like literally is he in the building listening right now? Will at Be Doing Work discuss the 2 goals he gave up to the Purple family with the Kings Zoidberg defensive style?
Oh,
I guess that's what it was. And yes, I did give up 2 goals. I think we hung up like 11 on them. The last one, Eric Major surprised me by actually putting the shot on goal. It caught me off guard. I didn't expect. So yeah, how did that happen?
And we've been remiss in answering Twitter questions the last couple of
So we're gonna do some Twitter questions.
I've got one that I think it was David on the perfect game message last week. Again, concerning the heretics, which was if you could spend an evening with just one of the heretics watching Netflix, which would you choose to
Netflix.
watch? Now,
Is that Netflix and chill?
Yeah, I'm saying like there's no actual Netflixing going on in that sort of situation.
Taylor,
What?
who would it be?
I'd probably hang out with Brains. He's super fun on Twitter. We've tossed ideas back and forth.
You guys really deep.
Yeah, we really
Wait, who do you get along
Who's
with?
the Brains? I like them all, bro.
Which one's the brains?
The one that runs that Twitter. The one-
Okay, what does he wear to games? That's what I need to
He
know.
is the
He's
Gonzo.
Gonzo.
Okay, that's what I need. Thank you. Speak English to me.
I don't know his real name. I just know he's the Brains.
Speak pictures.
Yes, I'm gonna go with. I guess I gotta go with the King since he wanted to have some relations with me over the soccer game.
A lot of chilling, not so much that.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim, you got an answer too. You're not getting out of this.
I'm gonna say the King because I think he's gonna listen like he. Great. I'm gonna really appreciate that. So yeah, I'm gonna say King.
I've got
We're
another
taking
one.
it seriously. Right?
Come on.
Let's all hug.
We've got a ton of random questions. So this is gonna be a really bad segment.
No, this is less than this is actually almost your name. Michael Chrisman asks, who surprised you the most against Charlotte? Okay. But we can expand that to both games. And I still think that the surprise so far has been Cosman. I thought he was just going to be a squad player. He ended up playing pretty well at right back. I thought.
I'll say the other side of the field, Son at left back. I thought he was one of our better players on the field. And again, I like guys with a lot of energy. He can put in what you can call a shift for sure. He puts some hard work in.
I'm a little less surprised about him just because I've kind of heard about him a little bit beforehand. But that's
Well, you research stuff like that.
that's not entirely true.
You know certain facts that
I want to see some start, like I said earlier, I was really surprised when Michael DK when he ended up playing. I feel like maybe he wasn't getting a lot of help. They're still trying to figure out that wing situation, but he amazed me on Saturday as far as trying to win the ball back.
I'll get one from Derek Mills, who's asking us, because we asked this question from all our guests, DC or Marvel. I'll answer. I'm an X-Men guy. I always love X-Men, so I'll stick with Marvel on that.
I went and saw Superman Batman this weekend, so clearly it's Marvel. By the way, we should have talked about what we did, and Tim just wanted to get right at it. No foreplay, Tim just wants to get right at it. The movie's not terrible. It's not fun, and we're so used to our superhero movies being kind of fun. I thought it was a little serious, but
Are you going all that philosophical with comics? Because the way these guys who I work with are explaining is that Batman is not who normally is as far as like killing individuals. Like he doesn't want to kill anyone unless he
most iterations of Batman he doesn't kill.
Right. So
This iteration of Batman had no problem wholesale. Yeah.
Okay.
My dad is traumatized this now. He's from a different generation. He's like, why are Batman? Yeah, he's like, why are Batman and Superman fighting? I don't understand. Because my dad's thinking like in terms of like the Super Friends style, where every hero was the same, they just had a different power. They all had the same personality. Super swell dudes, right?
Right in different cities.
Yeah, exactly. And they all drink, milk and cookies, and they would rescue cats out of trees. And I'm like, Dad, they're more complicated than that. And then the best thing I ever saw on Twitter is you'll never feel so foolish as trying to explain to your, in my case, 4-year-old, or the guy was talking about a 6-year-old son, how Batman versus Superman is an adult movie.
I saw a tweet.
That you can't watch. I can't take you to that, son. It's too serious.
I saw a tweet a couple weeks ago, like it said, at DC writers and Marvel writers. So DC writers, all of our characters are injured and dark and stormy, and then Marvel, like, here's a raccoon with a machine gun. I like the fun better.
Yeah. So, Marvel definitely wins because they're more, I want to go to a movie to be amused and kind of laugh a little bit, so
That's
Marvel.
why Iron Man movies are fun, because they're fun. Did you ever laugh? I love Christian Bale's Batman, but did you ever laugh?
Way too serious. Way too serious.
I love those movies. They're not fun.
They're spending millions of dollars to add funnier jokes and lines in Suicide Squad, which is about Joker and Harley Quinn. They're supposed to be the funniest characters in comics. We can do this for a while.
Sure.
All right. What else we got?
I kind of got wait, hold up. I got an issue with the question because it's a bipolar question. It's DC or Marvel. There are other comics out there.
Dark Horse.
Well, I'm a big fan of the Badger, Capital Comics. Somebody can reach back and tell us what that one's all about. I'm dating myself.
Yeah, tell us.
Or no, it's a super cool comic back in the 80s.
70s.
Just nope. Come on, I'm not that. Dang it! No, I gotta.
You can knock that shit off right now.
Just 60, right?
Yes.
You gotta edit yourself.
Yes.
You watched Adam West Batman.
I did know who the Adam West Batman was. He was great. He's still the best one.
Okay, never mind. I'm good. Right, okay, next question. Ford Lou, that's his Twitter handle, Ford Lou 11, asks us, is it possible to have a beach night again since the sauna?
No!
And I didn't want to ask the question because we've obviously banned that from our memories.
Never happened.
But the only thing that it did remind me of is, okay, Chandler Hoffman has these racing stripes, right? I think they're awesome.
On one
But
side.
he looks, or you can only have them on one side. No, I'm not getting it. But the thing that it reminded me of was the volleyball scene in Top Gun. He looked like he fit right in there. with the racing stripes there. And that's all I remember.
Okay, we said it spiked the ball.
That's the only thing that made me want to even mention. Like, oh, dude, he looked like totally fit in there without killing it.
That's sexy.
All right.
Now, I don't know who this person is. Shannon Farmer? I don't know who this person is. Luca, is it a go?
I don't have to answer that, but Ken might.
Alex and I are still talking about it a little bit.
You do know something.
I know a little bit. I may be running into a schedule conflict. I may be getting sweet tickets to go see Chris Stapleton. I get to hang out with him after.
If you'd rather do that than jump off into the Ohio River.
It's really close to us, so I don't know which one we're going to do more. I don't know.
Wait, hold on, because
Opportunity, and it's not for Stapleton.
I think Flu Tag is probably going to be a go. We just have to put a design together, and there are some other folks that want to work with us. And they go by the initials of BF, so that would be pretty cool
Best
too.
friends?
Nope, Brown Foreman.
That'd be
No, well, we like that.
So I think we think it's a go. We just gotta get, we release our
Are we
plans.
60% or 80%?
I'd say we're probably 70% that it's a go, but there's some work. Yeah, we got some work to do, and it's gotta be done on a pretty quick. It's gotta be done pretty
So
soon.
you're not in charge, so.
Yeah, I'm definitely not in charge. Alex is taking over that, so if it doesn't, Alex, fine.
Alright, one last question, and this is one, this is less fun to talk about, but we'll still knock it out real quick. Why do the Bats have control of our stadium's lease if they don't own the stadium, because the city owns the stadium? The quick answer to that is the Bats are the primary tenant and sublease the stadium to us. So that's why they kind of get to say what hangs around here, what goes where, when we explain it, when we don't explain it. Think of like anything to add to that?
Airbnb.
That's okay. It will be negotiable when the contract is up, I guess, in a couple of years.
But then we'll have our own place.
Right, I do.
Alright,
Any parting shots before we go? What kind of time frame we work with? Probably about that.
You're about that time, yep.
Orlando City sucks.
What was that?
You're not our real brother.
Orlando City sucks. I don't know if you're gonna.
Then,
Apparently you're offended. No?
what, Little City?
No, it's.
Oh, Little City doesn't offend me. That's what I get from digging in, trying to look for questions. I cannot do two things at once.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I know, that's your
That's
job.
right.
Yeah, one
Parting
judge shot.
shots, that's all. Anything you wanna get out? No.
Yeah, let's just beat Orlando City so Taylor can sleep at night and.
And then I cannot wait to actually have some good juju going against FC Cincinnati. So we kind of have to win, or I'm going to be really
Works for me.
Who's gonna win Champions League?
Who's going to win Champions League?
Bayern
It's really good, but I'll be against Barca.
Barca.
Who's hotter?
Well, Barca.
Your mom.
Oh!
Naturally, so hot.
She's 72, and I question your ability to identify.
No, wait,
what
what?
Absolutely, I was in, my father was 74. I'm 2 generations, we don't have to know this.
No.
You find that brother on today, and it's in Clark's.
I'm only
You know, I think it's funny that the guy we were there wanting to talk about Dark Horse and all these other comics is looking at you like, really, we're going to talk about this right
Is
now?
Ken's mom younger than your mom?
80.
No way.
How old's your mom?
80.
Over
I'm
80.
Sorry, sorry.
I think we
She's
definitely.
all right. She's all
I
right.
think we need to put the Raps on one of our less than stellar shows. What do you think?
It's better than 23, but that's it's like.
We still got to figure out 50. With the weather this nice, I think we're going to do a live podcast playing football and drinking beer.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Before we go, I just want to remind people about the SCC game on the 23rd of July, the one on Saturday, April 16th, that we are going to go to. There is information out on our website and Facebook page, like right around Patrick. What?
That's a definite possible maybe.
Reviews.
We are sitting in zone 2. Tickets are $15 a pop. I believe tickets are going fast for Taylor. Yeah. Okay. Tickets are going fast. You guys should go. This is the closest rival we're going to have. St. Louis is about 4 hours. This is an hour and a half, hour and 15 if you're speeding. If you want to get over there.
Are we getting a bus?
No more buses unless you want.
Unless you want to front the money, go ahead.
Yeah, front money, then we'll consider.
Just asking.
Good idea.
But Derek knows about it. He loves that.
The other big thing is Sunday, 10 o'clock. We mentioned it earlier. Tipo painting down at AT&T. Amelia mentioned it. There will be beer there. You guys can drink during, before, or after. I don't know what we're painting. Probably should put that away.
Don't worry about
That's all I got, boys.
it. I'm done.
All right. See you next week.
See you guys. Thank you.
Boy,